Hello, welcome to yet another video of Acharya Nidana Academy. In this particular video, we are going to discuss one more type of the Hetu or causative factor or Nidana, as mentioned in the Ayurveda classes. So, from the several previous videos, we are going to discuss the different types of the Hetu or Nidana or causative factor. So, from the last several videos, we are going to discuss today. So, if the okay. So when you think about the classification of Nidana, the today we are going to discuss about the Bahya Hetu specifically for Vata Dosha. So when you think about it, why we need to know about these different uh, classification? So to know the exact application where that can be applied. So to know the exact pathology occurring in the body. When you say about it, so each and every etiological factor that can be exposed through either one or more natural orifices or otherwise unnatural orifices also. Unnatural way in the sense there may be a possibility cut wound, etc. And natural orifices refers to Ayurveda says 9 orifices in males and 12 orifices in females. So if the etiological factor or pathogen is entering in either one, two, or multiple natural orifices, that may be responsible for the typical clinical manifestation. For example, if the person is having the exposure of a etiological factor through the oral cavity, initial symptom that can be observed is in the alimentary canal. The two that starts from mouth, then esophagus, then stomach. In that way, that will start. If the pathogen is entering through the anal route instead of the oral route, initial symptoms the person may get is first through the anus, then in the rectum, then in the colon. In that way, the etiological factor that can be able to exact pathology that it can be identified by looking into the Nidana itself. Or otherwise, if the pathologic pathogen is entering through the nose, that will be initial symptom that can be observed in the nose, then nasopharynx, then trachea, then bronchi, then alveoli. In that way, the person may get the clinical manifestation. If the pathogens are entering through the urethra, initial symptom that can be observed in the urethra, then urinary bladder, then ureter, then kidney. If the pathogens are entering through the vagina, the first symptoms are going to be observed in the vagina, then uterus, then uterine tube. Later, there may be a possibility of ovary affliction. In that way, we can able to identify the exact pathology or the pathologic mechanisms happening inside the body can be identified. The next point that is to predict the prognosis of the disease process. Prognosis means what? Naturally, if the less number of pathogens are being present, then the prognosis of the disease will be comparatively good. More number of pathogens are present in the body, the prognosis of the disease will be comparatively bad. If pathogens are being present in all the compartments, maybe in the alimentary canal, or maybe in the intravascular compartment, or in the interstitial compartment, or in the intracellular compartment, if the pathogens are present in all these compartments, then the prognosis of the disease will be comparatively very, very poor. That is the significance of knowing about the prognosis and regarding the pathogens as such. So that means, so we have to be very particular regarding the number of pathogens, regarding the source of entry of the pathogen, regarding the virulence of the pathogen which is entering into the body. So that means the mild virulent pathogen may be responsible for the milder disease process, or the prognosis of the disease in that particular situation will be milder, good. Or otherwise, if the virulence of the pathogen is so severe, very potent, in that particular situation, the prognosis of the disease will be comparatively poor. That is the reason, if you know about the type of the Nidana, that will be helping you to know about the uh, what do you say, how far the disease is curable or incurable. To plan the line of treatment. So that means Ayurveda says the ideally the elimination or the treatment will be, line of treatment is elimination of the what is pathogens or the vitiated dosha through the nearest route. And think about the whole human body, among the intracellular compartment, interstitial compartment, intravascular compartment, and alimentary canal compartment. The alimentary canal compartment is comparatively nearer to the natural orifices rather than other orifices. That is the reason, whenever if you are planning the line of treatment, whatever these pathogens or vitiated dosha are there, that has to be brought into the alimentary canal, and later that has to be get eliminated either through the oral route or rectal route. In the sense, suppose if the pathogen is present in the intracellular compartment, suppose if it is localized one, then we can make the as per the Ayurveda, we can make the what do you say, that the locally we can able to eliminate it through the cupping therapy or the bloodletting. Or if the pathogens are widespread, then it has to be made to move from intracellular compartment to interstitial compartment. From the interstitial compartment, it has to be brought into the intravascular compartment. From the intravascular compartment, it has to be brought into the alimentary canal. From there, it has to be eliminated via Vamana or Virechana, via oral route or anal route. Suppose the pathogens are present only in the interstitial compartment, not in the intracellular compartment. We need not worry about the intracellular compartment. It has to be brought into the intravascular compartment. Then it has to be brought into the alimentary canal. If the pathogens are present only in the intravascular compartment, not in the interstitial or intracellular compartment, in that particular situation, the pathogens has to be brought into the alimentary canal. Then it has to be eliminated via oral route or rectal route. If the pathogens are present only in the alimentary canal, not in the intravascular compartment, etc., then you need not worry about the bringing those pathogens into the alimentary canal, as they are already situated in that particular situation. Then that has to be eliminated immediately, either through the oral route or rectal route. So that's how to plan the line of treatment that can be planned, that can be known by knowing about the exact nidana present in the body to predict the progress of the treatment. So what do you mean by progress of the treatment as such? When you say about progress of the treatment, that means, suppose if the person is having 100 molecules of exposure of pathogens, suppose if you are giving the treatment, so that is going to get responsible for the elimination of these pathogens through the anal route or rectal route. In that particular sense, suppose 30 pathogens are eliminated from the rectal route. So that means he may show 30% of improvement. So that means to predict the progress of the treatment, knowing the exact nidana, that will be very, very essential. Ayurveda says if you know about the exact type of nidana exposed to the human body, ideally that has to be avoided. Sushruta says, Sanshepatah Kriya Yogo Nidana Parivarjanam. So that means ideal line of treatment is identify the exact positive factor and try to avoid as far as possible regarding those etiological factors. That is the ideal line of what do you say, the treatment as far as the Ayurveda is concerned. So these are the different types of Nidana explained in the Ayurveda classics. 4 types of the Nidana: Sannikrishta, Viprakrishta, Vyabhichari, and Pradhanika. And 3 types of the Nidana: Asatma Indriyartha Sanyoga, Prajnaparada, and Parinama. 3 types of the Hetu, that is Dosha Hetu, Vyadhi Hetu, and Ubhaya Hetu. 2 types of the Hetu, that is Utpadaka Hetu and Vyanjaka Hetu. 2 types of the Hetu, Bahya Hetu and Abhyantara Hetu. The rest of the classifications are the types of Abhyantara Hetu. So, the 3 types, Urdhva, Adha, and Tiryak. 3 types, that is Shaka, Koshtha, and Varmasti Sandhi. 3 types, Vriddhi, Sthana, and Kshaya. 3 types, Chaya, Prakopa, and Prashama. 2 types, Prakrita and Vaikrita. 2 types, Sama and Nirama. 1 type, that is Ashaya Apakarsha. And 2 types, Sadharana and Asadharana Hetu. So far we have discussed till Utpadaka Hetu and Vyanjaka Hetu. So today we are going to discuss about the Bahya Hetu specifically for Vata Dosha. So this particular video may go a little bit longer, but to complete the Vata Dosha, what you say, the Bahya Hetu are external causes that are responsible for the increase of Vata Dosha in the body. That has to be, whatever the description that is available, that will be completed here. What do you mean by Bahya Hetu? Bahya Hetu are those, whenever if you look into that, among the 4 types of the Nidana, Sannikrishta Nidana is coming under Abhyantara Hetu, specifically for Dosha. Whereas Viprakrishta, Vibhichari, and Pradhanika, that are coming under Bahya Hetu. And all types of Hetu, that is Asatma Indriyartha Sanyoga, Prajnaparada, and Parinama, they are categorized under Bahya Hetu. And Dosha Hetu, Vyadhi Hetu, and Ubhaya Hetu, they are categorized under Bahya Hetu. And Utpadaka Hetu and Vyanjaka Hetu, they are categorized under Bahya Hetu. Whereas only the one, that is Sannikrishta Hetu, they are categorized under Abhyantara Hetu. Now, description of Bahya Hetu specifically, which are leading to the increase of Vata bioenergy in the body. They are, as per the Ayurveda classics, that is being mentioned, that is Vyayamat, Apatarpanat, Prapatanat, Bhangat, Kshayat, Jagarat, Veganam च विधारणात् अतिशितः शय्यात् अतित्रासतः रूक्षक्षोभकषायचित्तकटुकैरेभिः प्रकोपं व्रजेत् वायुर्वारिधरागमे परिणते चान्ये अपराह्ने अपि च. If you split this particular word, Vyayamat, Apatarpanat, Prapatanat, Bhangat, Kshayat, Jagarat, Veganam च विधारणात् अतिशुचः शैत्यात् अतित्रासतः रूक्ष क्षोभ कषाय तिक्त कटुकैः एभिः प्रकोपं व्रजे वायुः वारिधरागमे परिणते च अन्ने अपराह्ने अपि च. So these are the explanations they are being given for the, what do you say, that the meaning, what are Vyayama, Apatarpana, etc. Coming to the what actually happens in these etiological factors. So Vyayama refers to excessive exercise, more than one's capacity. Apatarpana refers to what? The measures which are responsible for the depletion of the body tissue, such as exposure to sunlight, where the more and more, what do you say, that the heat waves are being present in that particular situation, then there is one type of apatarpana. Kshayat, in the sense, whatever may be the measures responsible for the decrease of body tissues in the body. And ati shuchaha means excessive purification therapy. That is excessive emesis therapy or excessive purgation therapy or excessive enema therapy, etc. That is categorized under ati shuchaha. When you think about all these 4 that can be connected by one particular thread, that is nutrient depletion. When you say about nutrient depletion, the initial depletion will be carbohydrate. That means it is the glucose that is going to get depleted in the body. So, which will be followed by fat depletion, which will be followed by protein depletion. Along with that, there will be the depletion of micronutrients, such as electrolytes will be there, as well as water depletion. So, whenever if a person is doing these kinds of the activities, soon, within a matter of 30 minutes, the person will be having depletion of the carbohydrate, that is glucose depletion will be there. If a person is not supplementing the adequate nutrition, that will be followed by fat depletion, which will be followed by protein depletion. Along with that, electrolyte and water depletion may be there. In that way, when this is happening, naturally that is responsible for the increased basal metabolic rate. When there is increased basal metabolic rate, so what do you say? The person who is having the fat that is present in the subcutaneous tissue, that is going to get depleted, and that is coming into the circulatory fat, circulation there. So that means stored fat will be converted into circulating fat. In that way, the person will be having the emaciation, or what you say, that emaciation of the body. That means extreme weight loss is going to get observed in the body when a person is doing these kinds of the activities. Regarding the prapatana, that is the another type of the nidana, prapatana. Prapatana refers to falling from the height. Whenever a person is falling from the height, the initial manifestation, the person may have the what you say, that the muscular catch or muscle cramps may be there, or there may be a damage to the muscles, or there may be a possibility of damage to the blood vessels. So, or there may be a possibility of fractures. In that particular situation, there will be presence of pain. Ayurveda says whenever pain is present in any part of the body, that is responsible for, or that can indicate there may be a possibility of abnormal increase of Vata bioenergy in the body. Then regarding the Bhanga, Bhanga refers to the development of fractures. Whenever if a person is met with what is a sports injury, or wherever a person is met with road traffic accident, etc., there may be a possibility of development of fractures, which is resulting in dull aching type of pain whenever there is a in the fractured area. As already been mentioned, whenever there is the presence of pain, that indicates the increase of Vata bioenergy. Veganam cha vidharana. So that means suppression of the urges, natural urges. Let us take the example of what you say, that the suppression of defecation. Whenever suppression of defecation, in the sense the fecal matter present in the rectum, that is not coming into the exterior. So that means the fecal matter, which is having 75% of the water portion and 25% of rough undigested food residue. So if the person is doing the suppression, this kind of 75% of water portion is going to get reabsorbed from the rectum, resulting in the very hard fecal matter present in the rectum. In that particular sense, that is responsible for the reverse peristaltic movement of what do you say, that apana vata, which is present in the large intestine. If the person is having a frequent suppression, so that is responsible for the reverse movement present even in the small intestine also, wherein the samana vata is being coming into action. So that means there will be a reverse movement of a samana vata. Further, if the person is doing the suppression, so that is responsible for the reverse movement to happen even in the stomach and upper parts also. That is what we can say about the pranavata reverse movement, which is resulting in the vomiting, etc. So that means whenever a person is doing the suppression of the urges, so that is responsible for, in the specifically in the alimentary canal, there will be reverse movement of a apana vata. then Samana Vata, and then Prana Vata. In this way, there will be the reverse movement will be observed there. Regarding the Shaitya, that means the cold exposure. As we have said in the previous video, in the relation with the Shita and the human body. So that in that particular situation, this particular exposure to cold in different nasal orifices may show different symptoms, such as exposure to cold air through the nose. So that is responsible for the dryness present in the nasal mucosa or respiratory passages. If the person is consuming cold water, so that is responsible for the reduced secretion of the gastrointestinal tract. If the cold air is exposed to the skin, so that is responsible for the peripheral vasoconstriction. If the cold air is exposed to the urethra, definitely, so that will be responsible for the stricture, that is the constriction of urethra. So like that, the exposure of the cold to the different natural orifices may show different symptoms. In that way, that is responsible for the reverse movement, or otherwise there may be a possibility of very difficult movement because of the dryness. So in that way, there may be a possibility of increase of the Vata bioenergy in the body. Atitrasataha means the measures which are leading to the frightening effect, such as seeing the ferocious lion in front of the person, or otherwise seeing the cobra in front of the person. That is what we can say about the frightening effect. So that is responsible for the activation of sympathetic nervous system there. In that particular sense, there may be a possibility of fright and flight system activation. Either the person will be having the fear, or the person will start to run away from this particular etiological factor. In this way, there may be a possibility of increase of Vata bioenergy in the body. Ruksha, that means the dry substances consumption in excess. So that is responsible for the excess absorption of the secretion of the alimentary canal. So in that way, so there will be the more fluid which is coming from the intravascular compartment into the alimentary canal, that is not going to get absorbed from the alimentary canal into the intravascular compartment. In this way, there may be a possibility of shrinkage of what do you say that intravascular compartment. In this way, there may be a possible increase of the Vata bioenergy in the body. Regarding the Kshobha or the irritating substances as such, when a person is consuming more amount of the spicy substances, so that is actually responsible for the increase of inflammatory responses in the what do you say that the stomach. Why it is not producing the inflammation in the small intestine and large intestine immediately? Because whenever a person is consuming these spicy substances, that will be stored for a period of almost 2 hours initially in the stomach itself. Later, that may be entering into the small intestine or large intestine. If the person is consuming more amount of these spicy substances, that is responsible for the inflammatory reaction to happen in the stomach. In that way, that is responsible for the more secretions to enter from the intravascular compartment into the stomach. In that way, that is responsible for the shrinkage of a intravascular compartment. This way, the person may have the increase of Vata bioenergy. Further, when a person is taking such kind of the spicy substances, that is responsible for the increased peristaltic movement to happen in the stomach or small intestine, large intestine. In that particular sense, whatever the nutrients are being present, we are going to consume from the alimentary canal, that will be moving from the alimentary canal as it is, as they are, to the rectal route. So that means the body will be devoid of nutrients. In that particular sense, the person may have the fat metabolism as well as protein metabolism to switch over the nutrient part. In this way, the person may have emaciation of the body because of a consumption of excessive spicy substances as such. Regarding the rasa, influence of rasa, whenever if you say influence of rasa, Ayurveda says kashaya rasa or astringent taste, tikta rasa, that is bitter taste, or katu rasa or pungent taste. If the person is consuming these substances in excess, that is responsible for the increase of vata bioenergy in the body. Further, regarding the diurnal variations, vari dharagami. So that is vari as per the Ayurveda, it is jala, dhara or water. Dhara means the earth, agama means the season, the coming. The season of what do you say that the water coming to the earth, that is rainy season. Parinate chani, after the complete digestion of food and in the afternoon, there may be a possibility of a increase of vata bioenergy naturally. These are the actual causative factors of vata dosha. So the take-home messages from today's discussion are Bahya Hetu are those causes which are present outside the human body, whereas Abhyantara Hetu are those which are present inside the human body, that is Dosha, Dhatu, and Mala. Whereas Vata Dosha is having the Ruksha Guna or dry quality, Laghu or light to digest, Shita or cold in touch or potency, Khara rough, Sukshma minuteness, and Chala that is unstable. When the causes which are responsible for the increase of the Vata dosha, there may be a possibility of increase of either one or two or more qualities of the Vata dosha in the body. Hence, if you are more concentrating on the decrease of Vata dosha in the body, then we have to give the substances which are having opposite qualities of Vata dosha. That's all for today. Dear ANA members, mention in the comment box what are the major key takeaways from today's discussion. Dear members, what would you like to have the discussion to happen in this particular channel? Mention in the comment box. And if you are truly liking this particular video, then put a thumbs up and spread to the maximum number of true Ayurveda learners. That's all for today. Thank you.